Hello everybody. I'm making a part one to a two-part little video series that I'm doing on these beautiful flowers here, which are calendula. So in a future video, I'm going to be making calendula oil, which I'm going to be using for makeup remover for myself and, for different skincare basically, and you can even use it in your hair actually, but I'm going to be using it for makeup remover and maybe to put on, dry patches since the winter is here or is coming fast. But I wanted to make a part one first to just talk about this flower first, and give you a little information about it. So I've been growing it for a couple of years now, and I started growing it because it has tons and tons and tons of medicinal uses. Now, that being said, what I'm doing with these calendula, and any future videos about calendula or other herbs, I want to say that this is not to diagnose, cure, or treat any illness, and that if you are going to be ingesting these edible flowers, you should consult your doctor first. So that being said, yeah, these flowers are beautiful, and they grow basically from May until they're still even growing in November here in New Jersey. So they last all summer, and even into the fall here. So a little bit about them is that they are edible, like I said. They're all edible. They have antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. And if you look at a lot of high-end skincare and even just regular skincare, you'll often find calendula infused oil or calendula itself as an ingredient. So that's what prompted me to start growing them, and I love them. And I actually make tea with them, and I put a little post on my community page about the tea that I have been making, using some of these dried calendula flowers. So calendula has been used throughout history. It's pretty much scientifically sound information that calendula has lots of beneficial properties for medicinal purposes, internally as well as externally on your skin. The anti-inflammatory properties is basically why I'm going to be using it mostly on my face as a makeup remover, because it will help your skin, and it's good for irritated skin. It's good for sensitive skin. Again, if you're allergy prone, I would say to do more research about it, or ask, your dermatologist or your doctor, your primary doctor, before going ahead and starting a regimen of daily use of, anything with calendula in it. One thing I found interesting is that calendula is still used today in India, and it's regarded as a sacred flower. So not only is it medicinal, but they honor it when they're honoring, any deity, or, and for religious purposes, and during the festival seasons, there's calendula garlands that will typically be found hanging on, different statues, and as an honor and and I don't know what you would say, as an offering to their various deities, which I think is beautiful, and it is a beautiful flower, and I believe it's magical, just the fact that it has so many medicinal uses, and that it thrives even into the cold. And we've had a hard frost last night, and my calendula is still out there trucking on. What else did I want to say? I think that's pretty much it. I know when I was researching it a while ago, I found out that it does have solar symbolism to it. So it's good for aura work, and it's associated with the third chakra. You could tell by the color, the beautiful color that we have here. And again, I just wanted to make this part one just to talk briefly about this flower before I post anything involving making a calendula oil. And I have to say again, this is not medical advice. This is not medical advice. But, do your research. There's so much more to be said about this flower. But for now, that's what I'm going to say. And I'm going to implore anybody who's watching this, do a little bit more research on it. And a lot of gardeners grow it for this very purpose. They're beautiful and they last a long time, but there's so many health benefits to calendula in general. So I would do some research on it, and you can grow it in containers if you don't have a lot of space. It's actually called pot marigold also, not to be confused with the standard marigolds that you would see that have that very pungent odor. This is not that, but it is called pot marigold. And actually, the history of that is pretty interesting. It's because in the colonial days, and in early American history, I guess you would say, they would put it a lot in their stews and in their pots, when they're cooking their dishes. So that's a little bit of history on that. Um, yeah, I think that's it. And just research it. You can grow it in any situation. If you have a small apartment, you could definitely grow a lot. It's so prolific if you're deadheading it, and just keep on picking it and keep on drying it and keep on picking it. I mean, it'll just go and go and go, and it readily self-seeds. So that's also great, because then next year you'll have more calendula without even planting the seeds. I think that's it. So again, this is part 1. Look out for part 2. I'm going to try to upload that later on today, hopefully. All right. Peace out, guys. Enjoy. Bye.